Assalamualaikum and hi, we are from class J4BA1173E. Our group for this presentation is Tertiary. So today we would like to present about issue in employment rate during COVID-19. So let me introduce myself first. My name is Muhammad Asif Akil. So next we move to introduction. Basically, what is employment? Employment is individuals who are employable, are seeking a job but unable to find a job. People in the workforce or pool of people who are available for work does not have a appropriate job. Employment serves as one of the indicators of economic status. There are several types of employment such as first, structural employment, second, standard employment, third, frictional employment, fourth, cyclical employment, next, technical employment, and seasonal employment. Next, we move to overview employment problem in Malaysia. Malaysia is one of the most thriving economies in Southeast Asia with low employment rates and rapid development rates with a rate of 2.85%. 2014 was the lowest level employment in history. Along with years of political stability, low employment and quick development rate have been promoted in recent years. However, the service sector account for more than half of the nation's economy and generate about 50% of its output. Given the strong and expanding global economy, the average GDP per capita reflects this as well. 3% of working and jobless will have difficulty finding work are young people, postgraduates and non-graduates. Next, I will pass to my friend to continue this presentation.
So I will proceed with the analyzing theory macroeconomic problems. So the economic problem that we face is the unemployment problem. So COVID-19 outbreak has caused over a quarter of Malaysian workers to fear about their job. So the government issued a movement control order to limit contact and movement in order to prevent the COVID-19 outbreak from spreading. So the MCO issued order to remain at home, and government also banned all outdoor activities like travel international and shut down all the business with just several critically important ones and those in the resources sector. As a result, Malaysian jobless rate has been seen increasing and worrying. In July 2019, the unemployment rate is just 3.3%, and in July 2020, the unemployment rate has been increasing to 4.7%, which is very highest number for unemployment, and the employment rate also decreasing from 50.07 to just 14.96%. So this is followed by August 2009, which the unemployment rate has increased to also 4.7. This situation continues in September and also October. In September, Malaysia jobless rate soared to 4.6% due to the COVID-19 pandemic major effects. Malaysian unemployment rate rise from 3.3 in the same month last year to 4.6 in September 2020. Last year, unemployment decreased by 0.2% to 50.19 million, but the number of unemployment increased by 41.4% to 737,000. To reach 50.39 million, the population grew by 1.1%. So the unemployment rate was 4.7 in August 2020. So in January 2020, the unemployment rate is just 3.2%, and its reached its highest at May 2020 with the 5.3%, and keep decreasing and increasing, but it's still not below the unemployment rate in global, which is just 4.0. So as the problem here, more than 19% of employees feels that the COVID-19 has hurt their company's performance during the global slump. This is due to the fact that they are unable to carry their own business like usual before the COVID-19 outbreak. So 90% of those surveyed believe that the government policy allowing them to remain on the floor is appreciated.
My name is Trisha Nazifa binti Suhaimi and I will be explaining the appropriate measures to overcome the macroeconomic problems. So the first one is the government can implement an expansionary monetary policy in order to increase the supply of capital through free market operations. In a free market, the central bank purchases municipal, short-term and government liabilities to expand the supply of money. With a decline in unemployment, there would be a rise in production, consumption, and overall effectiveness, and it will aid in preventing unemployment in Malaysia both during and after MCO. The next one is the government may execute an expansionary monetary policy to boost the capital supply by lowering the necessary reserve ratio. When there is a lack of unemployment, the central bank lowers the return ratio necessary for any business bank to offer loans. As a result, as the reserve ratio is dropped, more credit will be created and more capital will be available, which will increase aggregate credit, reducing consumption and unemployment. So for those who lost their jobs as a result of the COVID-19 outbreak can start their own business to get some extra money. Expansionary monetary policy may also help to increase the amount of capital available by lowering the bank rate or the interest paid on borrowing. The last one is the government may also introduce an expansive fiscal policy in which taxation is outpaced by government spending, creating a revenue shortfall due to Malaysia's lower tax rates. Price reforms such as lower excise, utility, sales, payroll, or corporation taxes would increase demand for products and services and encourage expenditure.
The government can also reduce unemployment by implementing direct control measures. The purpose of providing training and technical education is to help long-term unemployed people develop new skills that will enable them to look for in developed industries, such as retraining in unemployed skilled workers to provide basic IT skills that aid in their employment in service sector. However, despite their educations and training, unemployed people may be unwilling or unable to pick up new skills. To minimize unemployment during and after COVID-19 pandemic, at most a fewer would be required. The government can also resolve the employment crisis because of manufacturing, production, and service that support Malaysia's economic growth are typically located in outlying areas. In those outlying areas, exciting technologies have been constructed, and the job has been created and opportunities. The output must be close to the resources area in order to save movement. To obtain job opportunities, you should be willing to trade both your mental and physical self. During and after MCO, the government may impose stricter benefit requirements on the populace. Politicians ought to take a more encouraging approach when forcing the unemployment to consider finding work and risk loss their benefit. For a predetermined period of time, the government could guarantee employment in the public sector, such as street sweeping. It will significantly reduce unemployment. However, that will eventually result in the government hiring thousands of people for useless jobs, which is very expensive. The company would also shorten the list of claimants if they found it more difficult to file for concessions, but not the International Labour Force Survey. The government can also help the labour market be more flexible to solve this issue. Tight labour markets in our country imply higher systematic unemployment rates, primarily because they prevent employers from hiring. For instance, which can be advanced by doing away with full work weeks and hire and firing personnel. Therefore, increasing labor market relations may result in an increase in seasonal employment and job instability. Finally, the government will control the proportions of foreign workers in the local workforce. It is important to recognize that one of the issues affecting lower labor in the admissions of foreign labor, especially among the youth community. One strategy to stop foreign workers from entering the local labor market is to vehemently reject the Asian's memo on mass hiring of foreign workers in the domestic economy. Because of how much more unemployment people there are now due to the pandemic, positions should be available for recent graduates, dropout from school, the unemployed, and members of disadvantaged groups.
Next, I will continue the last part of this presentation, which is conclusion. One of the most effective organizations to stop the pandemic spread is the government, especially Dr. Nur Hisham Abdullah Health Ministry. The government has given some stability for the vital services to continue operating with the help of several organizations, notably the military forces and the tight application of the MCO. There are currently no known occurrence of fresh clusters of these crucial facilities. The same restriction can be gradually used on other resources in order to secure the sustainability of the national economy without foregoing safety precautions. In many ways, the health crisis will be persist even once the MCO is fully abolished. Any economy faces a several challenges with the unemployment. As a result, individuals who are working have a less secure future position, while those who are jobless have a lower chance